Do you know, I want to speak a wee bit about my romantic relationships today. And I know from the outside it might look that I've never had or I've never struggled with relationships, but to be honest, that couldn't be further for the truth, man. I've never actually had an issue getting women. The problems have always started when getting attached and actually caring about the girl, the other person. And when I did start to get attached and cared, I would do everything in my power to push it away, to sabotage it. And you know, I hated that part about myself. Why I would lose control and safety and abandon myself. And I never really understood why until I started my journey. And I'm not going to say healing journey. I'm going to say my journey taking accountability and responsibility. Because I look back in my 20s and there's so much regret, shame and guilt around my behaviour in the relationships towards the women, to be honest. It's something that I'm not proud of at all. And on the last video I touched on my childhood and how that shaped me moving forward. And I spoke a little bit about my first love, my first I called it attachment yesterday because I was never ever capable of loving a woman. Never ever capable of it because deep down I didn't love myself. I was wounded. And any time a woman get close to me, the old survival kicked in. It's like, whoa, Stuart, you're out of control here. You're out of control, sir. Don't let this woman in. Push her away. And it was never anything to do with her. It was all to do with myself. All to do with me. All to do with me being terrified underneath. Shit scared, man. Shit scared to let love in. Because I think love hurt me before. And that's not me making excuses or shifting blame, taking full responsibility and accountability. Because, well, dating and relationships were easy for me when there was no depth, there's no connection. I loved dating. I loved women. I loved going on the dating apps. Dating apps were amazing. I thought they were amazing anyway. Chatting, setting up a date, going for a drink, a booze, a few beers, having fun, having good connections, nothing serious, nothing that could scare me. And then there was always a few women who get through the safety net. And there was three relationships after my first attachment, which were deep to me. Maybe not deep to them, and I mean deep to me about how I felt. And these relationships maybe lasted 6 to 12 months in length. And I know that's not a long time, but it's a long time in my world. It was a long time for me to sabotage it, so it wouldn't go any further. And it would be the same repeating patterns of feelings, behaviours and thought processes with all the relationships. And when I did start to care, you'd think you would love that person more. You would do anything for that person. You would sacrifice yourself in people pleasing and things like that. I was never ever like that. My switch was always sabotage. was always, let's create as much chaos as you can, Stuart, so that person does everything, or so it makes that person easy to leave, or for you to leave as well, so it wouldn't go any deeper. And some of my behaviours would stem from being so hyper-vigilant, lack of trust, accusing these women of cheating, man, doing the exact thing that I was doing myself, cheating on them, cheating on them, man. And sometimes I have this wee nervous laugh when I'm talking about my past, when I'm talking about my shame and my guilt, and I think that's a way for me to cope with it when I'm speaking about it. It's not because I find it funny, it's because I find it shameful, to be honest, that I was looking at a person in the mirror, a wounded boy, attached and cared, but didn't recognise myself, didn't recognise my feelings, my thoughts and my behaviours, doing these things, doing things like fucking cheating and that, do you know what I mean? Disgraceful. Accusing, accusations, checking phones, you name it. I did all of it. And I didn't know, I didn't understand why, to be honest. It was what's the word I'm going to say here? It was a puzzle to me why I was like that. I thought that's just how I was. I just thought that's my wiring, that's my makeup. And I don't know why. I didn't know why. I did not know why. And then I would look at all my friends and that, and they had relationships. And they would be like 3, 4, 5 years and getting married and engaged and having kids. And there's me, never had any relationship past 12 months because I did everything in my power to sabotage it and push it away. And this was never about the women. It's never ever about the women. It was always about me and how I felt inside. And how I felt inside was not safe and not in control of myself. And that scared the living daylights out of me, man. It really, really did. And the turning point really came is when I took that responsibility and accountability, and I was like, Stuart, you're not fine, mate. This isn't acceptable behaviour. You actually need to take a look at yourself, man, and start to ask yourself some questions about why are you like this? What is it stemming from? Where is it stemming from? Take some accountability, mate. And don't deny yourself for something that you deserve. You deserve deep, meaningful connection. You deserve love. You deserve to let love in and not be terrified of it. Not be scared that it's got to hurt you. It's got to hurt you, mate. And that's where the honest question started. The honest question started when I realised I wasn't fine. I was living from a survival-based nervous system that was just trying to protect me. And that wasn't because there was anything wrong with me, it was actually because it was intelligent. It's what I learned as survival since I was a boy, to be honest. So that's probably a little bit of in-depth about my romantic relationships for the past. And this isn't me here shifting blame or saying it was because I was wounded. It's just to give you a little bit of insight that I know many of you are going through, have been through something similar to myself, and you've never actually been able to express it or bring it to the surface or speak about it. So hopefully that helps, man.